Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Welcome to my next Cobra Kai Season 6 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you are caught up to the point where I am every watching or watching Cobra Kai, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. So, for these episode reviews, I'm just going to do one a day. So I did one yesterday, one today. I've already actually watched the next episode, so that'll be uploaded tomorrow. And then I'll do episode 4 on Sunday and episode 5 on Monday. And then as far as part 2 goes, maybe I'll get them out quicker. I was busy the day that the season came out, where I only had a limited amount of time to watch one episode and record the review for that episode. So that's how I think I'll do it. But I'm a big fan of Cobra Kai. Not the hugest fan of the Karate Kid movies. I like them, at least the first one. But this Cobra Kai series has really got me invested because the episodes aren't an hour long. They're typically like a half an hour to 40 minutes long. And it's very bingeable. So, with all that said, big fan of the show. This will be Cobra Kai Season 6, Episode 2. The title of this episode is called The Prize. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So we have a young Terry Silver and John Kreese, and they're ready to leave Korea and say goodbye to Kim Dong-yoon. However, her grandfather, played by the great C.S. Lee, who I know as Vincent Masuka, or Vince Masuka from Dexter, scolds her for them interrupting his session. So John Kreese steps in and stops her, but Kim Sung-young beats him up. And then Kim Dong-yoon, these names are going to be hard for me to remember and say, she kicks her grandfather, and then he chokes her. But then he lets her train with them. Like, that kick, she finally did something, and that made him respect her more, even though he went to choke her. And then in the present day, Kim Dong-yoon is training, and Kreese is ready to team up. And then at the Diaz apartment on present time, of course, well, I guess it's already present time, you have Miguel reading his Stanford personal statement to Johnny, Robbie, Carmen, and his grandma, Rosa. And they're happy with how he wrote it. However, the pipe in their apartment breaks, and the plumber is still working on the situation. Carmen vents to Johnny and everybody about how their family is expanding and how they can't afford to send Miguel to Stanford with that going on. But Johnny promises Carmen that the Sakai Takai will help them, with the money. And then in South Korea, John Kreese and Kim Dong-yoon are talking to each other and about how Kreese enjoyed training with Master Kim despite his brutal teaching methods. Dong-yoon also tells him that he was hoping to see Kreese once she arrived at the state in America, but she was too focused on spreading her father's legacy. So he counters, saying that she got Cobra Kai to qualify for the Sakai Takai, but she explains that winning the tournament is not up to her, but her grandfather. Kreese is surprised that he's actually still alive. And then we have at West Valley High, Miguel, Eli, and Dimitri are attending the college fair, where Sam explains to Miguel that she picked schools close to Stanford, but Miguel admits that the school is too expensive. And then the Binary brothers, Eli and Hawk, or, Dimitri, I should say Eli and Hawk, they're the same people. Hawk and Dimitri is what I meant to say, explain that they want to go to MIT. And then we have a representative from College of the Valley gives Miguel a brochure so he can consider going to community and transferring to Stanford. Johnny goes to the LaRusso house to find a mattress after he tells Daniel and Amanda about how the Diaz apartment is flooded. Chosen explains that it is not a good time to rent. Daniel has his two former rivals go with each other to explore housing. Then we go back to South Korea, where John Kreese asks Master Kim for his blessing to spread his legacy, but he refuses. He then berates with his granddaughter for failing her, to get her goal. And then Master Kim actually chastises Kreese for focusing on the prizes. But after Kreese tells him about Johnny beating up his former students, he gets impressed and tells him to prove himself. And then during the college tour of the College of the Valley, Dimitri explains that the University of Phoenix would be a small school if it weren't online. However, the tour guide is tackled by Brooks. Of course, he's the guy that was in earlier seasons that Hawk beat the crap out of. He and Kyler are surprised to see Miguel and the binary brothers, Eli and Hawk and Dimitri, and apologizes to Brooks. Hawk does for brutally beating him and admits that he was brainwashed. But Brooks accepts the apology. Skyler, I'm thinking of Breaking Bad. Kyler also explains that Brooks goes to MIT, and Dimitri gets surprised because him and Eli want to go to MIT. Then he asks his former bully victims if he is still hanging out with him. Johnny and Chosen are looking at houses for rent, but he has a run-in with the realtor. He insults him, but Chosen diffuses the situation. Johnny and Chosen leave the house after Johnny kicks the open house sign. And then meanwhile, Kreese is on his quest to find the Kim family knife, but he is bitten by a snake, but I'm not sure if the snake was poisoned or not, because it's a cobra. Looks like a cobra to me. I don't know what happened with that. Back at MIT, Miguel, Hawk, and Dimitri are at the fraternity house where Kyler is being hazed by the fraternity members. Now, Hawk, on the other hand, chugs beer and puts the finished cups on his mohawk, which was really cool. Then we have Miguel and Dimitri. They overhear students planning to disqualify Kyler from their process. And then later, the two see him at another house, but he tells him that if he's willing to pay the Encino rent, he needs to talk to him. However, an old high school classmate agrees to help him as long as his financial situations are settled. And then back at the cave in South Korea, the poison badly affects Kreese. You got bit by a cobra. You're dead. You're nowhere near a hospital. I don't know what happened with all that, but it affects Kreese, and he turns into his younger self and seeing a darker version of Terry Silver. And then he is back in the present-day self, and then he encounters Johnny Lawrence. Inspired, he actually tries to encounter the snake again. Dimitri and Hawk are curious about how Brooks got into MIT by asking about his SAT score. And then the fraternity student tries to haze Kyler again, but Miguel makes him tell the truth about why Kyler can't be in the fraternity. Kyler then beats up the student, and a fight begins at the fraternity house. Miguel defends Kyler, and then Brooks takes down the other students as well. Hawk and Dimitri fight the others, and after they win, they flee the house. At the LaRusso auto shop, Johnny vents to Daniel about supporting the Diaz family and Robbie, and he needs to get his finances on track. Daniel tells him that he needs to get a real job in order to help the Diaz family. So back at the cave, Kreese encounters the snake, and this time he kills it in order to retrieve the knife. And then back in America, Brooks admits his real SAT score, and that it's Midwest industrial training. And then Kyler tells Miguel about he didn't pursue his dreams, and another fraternity student welcomes him into their fraternity about hearing about the Theta Omega house fight. And then the student welcomes him as long as he keeps his personality the same. So Kyler, if he just beats Kyler, he's in. I like Kyler as a character. Yeah, I know he was a bully, but he's got charisma and stuff. And then Johnny arrives at LaRusso Auto and decides that he's ready to work with them. He's in a suit and stuff. Daniel and Amanda see Johnny sell a car to a customer, and then the customer praises him for selling her a car. And then Johnny says that the balance is important and that Amanda and Daniel welcome him into the dealership. And then Kim Dong-yoon berates her grandfather about the quest that Kreese comes back, or the quest that he put Kreese on. But Kreese actually comes back with the knife and the head of the snake. Impressed, Kim Sung-young allows him to teach at the dojo alongside Kim Da-young. And that's what ends this episode of Cobra Kai. So a little bit better than the first episode, which one of my gripes, there was no Tori in this episode, which that's not good. We need to have Tori. I'm going to give this episode a 7.6 out of 10. My characters of the episode, I'm going to give 1 to Skylar. There we go with my Breaking Bad talk again. Kyler, Kreese, and Kim Dong-yoon. You could pick either. I mean, probably Kyler or Kreese would be the 2 main ones. But I wanted to pick a female. And since Sam was barely in the episode, we didn't get any Tori. And I guess Amanda could potentially have some consideration. And Carmen wasn't really in it that much. I had to go with Kim Dong-yoon. So anyway, you've heard everything now to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Cobra Kai and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, make sure that you Hulk smash the like button. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Cobra Kai. What would you rate the episode, and whom, if you had to choose, would be your character or characters of the episode? Click right here. I'll put my Cobra Kai Season 5 reviews right here and my Season 4 reviews right there. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. You're watching the video anyway. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDF TV.